I am so excited to share this title with you today. I found this book through a Twitter chat. I just followed a couple of teachers who introduced this text to me, and I fell in love. I read it in one night. It is called Risk, Fail, Rise, and it's the book that you didn't know you needed until you start reading it. And so, one thing I love about this book, it's by Colleen Cruz. And so, I love Colleen Cruz. You might have read The Unstoppable Writing Teacher by her. She also has this series with Writers Read Better. She has one for nonfiction and narrative. She is featured in a lot of teachers' colleges' demonstration videos with her amazing work with them. Anyways, you might have caught her at any of the institutes up with Teachers College. So she just has so much knowledge for all of us, both in the content. And then this is really about the experience of being a teacher as a human being and what it takes to survive in a profession that can be so grueling at times. And because she's so deeply connected inside of schools, all of the strategies she mentioned are things that are possible. So I really liked that she took things that exist outside of education, learning from mistakes inside of professions that aren't necessarily for teachers, and she applied it into the profession as teachers. She talks about the reasons we make mistakes and what are those origins of some of the mistakes that we make and the errors that we make. And she introduces us to the creative learning cycle and how mistakes are a part of that process. And the way she's structured this book is through short essays. So each chapter is an essay, really going from like internal introspection of our own mistakes to looking at learning from mistakes from others, and then really about what we can do. As educators. So there's tangible strategies in each chapter of having either the way we respond to students in our language so that we aren't shaming and that we are empowering them to also learn from their mistakes. Maybe it's reframing some of the situations that we encounter and that we're learning from, how we prioritize self care as educators. And the book actually ends with lessons that we can teach students. So each chapter is filled with things that we can do reflectively as practitioners. But then in the book, it's also how to take this message to students so that they learn also from mistakes. And as a recovering perfectionist and a parent of a son who struggles with perfectionism, I did not know I needed this book until I started reading it. And I was thinking, wow, I try to have that self-talk, internal dialogue about how it's okay to make mistakes, but I still get so uncomfortable. And this book makes that a little bit okay. It makes it more than a little bit okay. It makes it to the point where mistakes are necessary for us to have really amazing discoveries. She even starts the book in her introduction talking about some of the amazing things that have come from making mistakes, like penicillin as one of the most commonly known examples from the medical field. But we need these mistakes in order for us to learn and grow. And so I just highly recommend this book. It is such an easy read. I think that it will make you, as a teacher, just comforted by another teacher talking to you. Because what we do is so worth it, but it can be really hard at times. And so, if we don't take that time to self care and learn from our mistakes and really embrace creativity and the creative process cycle that she talks about in this book, we can do so much more with our students by embracing these mistakes. And so, I hope that you'll check it out. I just love everything Colleen Cruz puts out there. And so, I am so grateful to have this book on my bookshelf.